Hello and welcome. You're watching AMN Plus English program. I am Abrehot right here with me, of course, is Director of Abrehot Library. We'll have an amazing time with him and stay with us. Muluken, it's really wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
It's really amazing that we're here talking about books and about you and generally about the library as well. I would love to have about you. So who is Muluken, and can you tell us something how he's related to books?
I don't have big biographies, but just let me give you the brief one. I started this almost a year ago. It will be my first year in 3 days. So I'm celebrating my first year here. Before Abrehot, just to give you a little detail about myself, I studied English language, I studied political science, diplomacy, and international relations in different degrees. Currently, I am postdoctoral student in abroad. I came here last year and I took this job. It's an amazing and interesting job. So before coming here, I was a teacher, I was a journalist, and for quite 5 or 6 years, I was a full-time writer, a full-time translator. I have translated some 50 books.
50 books.
Yeah, you can simply Google and find them. Most of my books are biographies, political history, some fictions, psychological books, philosophies. Probably you are familiar with some of my works, such as Mandela's biography, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, Malcolm X. That's the person I love the most. Other works like, Khalil Gibran. I have translated 16 of his books in one volume. As I have translated Dostoevsky's The Idiot, Emile Zola's Germinal. From Ethiopian history, we can state some Christopher Clapham's Revolutionary Ethiopia, Nathaniel Pierce in Abyssinia. It was written in 1810, one of the oldest book I translated. Other books from self-help, maybe, Robin Sharma. His last book, The Everyday Manifesto, The Everyday Hero Manifesto, is the last book I translated, I think, and some others. That's who I am, I think.
Before we go to Abrehot Library and other ideas as well, I would love to ask Muluken, especially like the ideas, especially at this time when we talk about reading, people are like taken to digital books. And well, of course, we used to have hard books as well. So which one do you think is a preferred one, whether the hard copy or the soft copy, and why do we have to pick one of them?
I think it depends, Brian. For people of my age and older than I am, we prefer the books, the paper ones, paperback books, because we grow up reading them. For most of us, it's nostalgic, but we remember the smell of the papers even. We are so attached to that. But, sooner or later, things will be replaced. In the past, it was Brana, then it comes the paper. Now, we are on the generation where everything is digital. We have recently launched our digital library after assessing the interest of our students, our customers here. The younger generation, especially those 20s and below, are quite interested in digital books. So the e-books, the PDF files, and others are aligning to their interests. So, but if you ask me what my interest is, I prefer just carrying my books. Whenever I fly, whenever I travel, I take my books with me. I have a couple of shelves at home. So for me and my generation, that's what we love the most. However, at the same time, we are using digital libraries as well. So it's quite depending on our age. Now that the technology is transferring into futuristic, most things are quite different now. We have different audiobooks now. Whenever you are driving, you can listen to audiobooks. So things have changed. I don't think this printing industry will continue this way in the near future. It's not up to us.
That's a good idea. And of course, we'll be back to ideas related to library and to Muluken as well, and as a general director as well. But can you get us to the establishment of Abrehot Library and why Abrehot, the name itself, was chosen to be called Abrehot itself? And were there any mission for this library?
Sure. Abrehot has been operational for the last 4 years. We have celebrated our 4th year last week. Madam Mayor was here. Different dignitaries have visited us. But just to give the word picture of the vision, it was Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's huge vision. He wanted to do something for the youth, for the student community, for the kids, and for the researchers as well. So the establishment itself is quite different. The library is more than a library. It's not because I am the director here, but as an outsider, as a keen observer, if you ask me, this library has everything in it. We have kids library inside, we have research centers, we have for grade students 1 floor reserved for them. We have nursery rooms. If a woman brings her kids, we have pure daycare center where she can put her kids there and she can do her reading. So Abrehot, it is a huge vision that was materialized by the premier himself. He was following every step of the establishment. From the day he launched the project, he was following the construction. After the construction, he was following the how it was furnished here. The books we collected are huge and very meaningful. So Enlightenment, Abrehot, the word itself is like the medieval Europe, the Enlightenment period. Abrehot is a Giz term that quite be replaced by Enlightenment. Maybe your name is quite similar to that, so you're familiar with that. So when we say Enlightenment, I think the name is chosen for purpose. We need to enlighten the community. Enlightenment doesn't come with an advice or with other documentaries only. Enlightenment comes from books. Once you immerse yourself inside the books, once you read people's works, people's lives, people's researches, enlightenment comes through time. That's why the Premier has done a lot of works, but this one, for me, is one of the futuristic, one of the most enlightened project I can say.
So for somebody who has no idea about the Abrehot Library, mostly those visitors, and what do you think is the library's contribution, mostly when we talk about the cultural contribution and educational contribution?
The biggest contribution we have here is we have some 2,000 chairs, which are always occupied. That's something I love the most. Whenever I get in, I roam in and I roam out. So we have 2,000 chairs. They are always full. University students usually visit us here. We have strong Wi-Fi connection. We have very clean reading areas. It's well lighted, as you can see the skylight itself. The infrastructure is amazing. Above all that, we have different collection of books. We update our shelves every time. We have 1.5 kilometer shelves. If you stretch them, it's like that. We have close to 500,000 books. We have 1.4 million books a year ago, but we have distributed it to different libraries in the city, as well as in different locations of the country. Now we have enough books to supply for our customers. We have strong Wi-Fi connections. We have digital library. That's why people are coming. And even more so, we operate 24 hours. We close only for an hour or two for cleaning. It's in the morning before 6. But the rest, it's open 24 hours, open every day. National holidays, international holidays, we give service. So that makes it one of the most impactful projects for the youth generation.
So can this be taken as one of the greatest milestones in the library's history? And can it be taken as a success?
Certainly. It is, most visitors come, let me share you my experiences. Several returnee diasporas who have spent their 3 decades, 4 decades in abroad, they come to this library and they will really be amazed. How did you make it happen? They ask. And whenever I took them towards upstairs and they see in one floor we have 500 seats and it's full to the brim. They are really surprised. Really? Do the young people read? This much number of people are reading right now, they say. That's one of the impacts. You can go upstairs now and see yourself. it's always full to the brim. That's what gives you hope as a nation. You know, the young generation are reading, they are doing their researches, they are becoming better in their educations. To that end, this library, this establishment has contributed its part in the best possible way.
Coming from the General Director of Abrehot Library to the person who is a publisher as well, a translator, you have a lot of course, amazing profile as well, as I have witnessed. So let's get back to Muluken, and how does he himself see a book? Like, there's some people who, whenever they go to cafes, they feel that there's this special kind of cake maybe. For Muluken, what is the book for him?
I can say everything.
Having published 50 books.
Yeah. I grew up with not so large family. I have brothers and sisters, but I spent most of my time with my elder sister's house, so most of the time I was alone. I immersed myself inside books. I don't have many friends, but few close friends, so that makes it quite easy for me to integrate into books, into magazines, newspapers. In the place I raised, I had access to newspapers, magazines, different publications. I grew up reading different books. I remember most of the books I read. So that gave me an advantage. It's not like, as days go by, when I was a teacher and a journalist, I took up writing courses. I took up writing a career. So when I became a translator, it gave me a chance to read more. You translate too many books, you read the bibliographies, you refer back to different books they used. You read one author, if you like him, you read different works he has contributed. That will make you develop your reading habit. So as a writer, I can't brag that way, just as a translator, when I come here, it was like heaven. People are really amazed that some of my friends tell me destiny has put you just in the middle of thousands of books. I have read quite books after coming here. Most of the time you'll find me here in the lobby, checking my customers and reading by the corner. Other times I will work in the office. But this one has given me another chance to read, to explore different books. The books which I couldn't find before, we have rare book collections. In those rare book collections, you'll find different interesting books, old books. Now I have that chance to read here as a person.
Yeah, that's quite amazing, having read thousands of books. And of course, we have to pick at least a single book from one of your favorite books. Which one will it be then? Like, of course, we have to read a lot of things. And maybe if you don't mind, we want you to quote something from one of the books.
Sure. Maybe it's tough for me, but I truly love Khalil Gibran. Gibran is one of the best writer I have ever read. He writes quite shortly, but those short lines, those few lines from Khalil Gibran are worth a book, a huge compiled book. He reads too much. He dedicated himself, he immersed himself inside books, coffee, and in some circumstances, tobacco, he said. One time, I remember his quote from one of his letters. Some books are to be read, some are to be tasted, some are to be chewed, but very few books are to be chewed and swallowed. That's what he quoted. So from Khalil's perspective, he gives you the word picture of the type of books you can find. There are books you can randomly read. There are books you read again and again and you swallow them. Khalil's, for example, The Prophet, Jesus the Son of Man, those books are amazing books. I think I read them twice or three times just because it makes me feel good. So Khalil is one of the greatest writers I have ever get.
So I still want to call to books discussing ideas as well.
Sure.
And especially when we talk about the youngest generation, some are like criticizing people that they're not into kind of books, while we don't have even kind of this research. But how do you think this youngest generation should go or indulge into the reading one? And is there anything that you want to give them an advice?
Oh, the young generation is too much exposed to the gadgets. Internet is fast these days. It's not like you go to the internet cafes. Back when I was a student, that was a thing. Today, everyone has got smartphones in their palms, so they can easily watch whatever they want. Other than reading a book, for example, they prefer short movies. And now things have narrowed down towards TikTok, where few seconds are the requirements you want to impress your audience. If you can't win them, then you will be scrolled, you will go, you're gone forever. Books are not like that. Books are immensely packed with huge knowledge. Books will make you be part of the vision of the writer, how he thinks, how he perceives the world. For example, if you read Dostoevsky's, Fyodor Dostoevsky he was epileptic. And in one part, he writes some astonishing pages, some 3 pages in The Idiot. So there was this character, he was going to pass out due to epilepsy. If you read those 3 pages, you literally can black out how powerfully he wrote them. Then when I read the biography of Dostoevsky, I came across that he wrote those emotions all by himself because he was feeling that epileptic feeling by that moment. That's how powerful books are, you know? You can't get such emotional attachment towards something. If you ask me, I love movies. I lived watching movies every day and every night. But with books, it's quite different. It's quite wide perspectives that you get. So the young generation, I think you can't say most of them, but some of them are way out of this spectrum. But still, there are some young people I talk to here every day. Some read classic literatures. It's very amazing. I talk to students. I take interest in students because I was teacher back a few years ago. So there are students coming from Cathedral School, for example, Selassie Trinity School here, Madhanayalam Church School. So they spend some time here, and I see them reading classic books. Why are you reading this? I ask them. Some say they have book report assignments. Some say they are interested in that. That shows you hope. It's not like you can't conclude they are not reading. They are. But the modality has changed now. That's quite different world now. Especially if you perceive the last 10, 15 years, things have changed dramatically. So most of the young people are exposed toward this digital world than books. What shall we do is a question. In our part, we are playing some critical role in our kids' library here. The kids' library has regular weekly programs. We manage some competitions, reading competitions, writing competitions for kids up to age 10. And every 3 months, we prepare another competition for students up to age 14. They should write something. It can be whatever. It can be their diaries. It can be what they observe. You can't say this is trash, this is something. That's what they imagined, that's what they saw. We appreciate that. If we give them way, if you create a platform, students or the young generation can write and read. That's what I am observing here. To that end, we have to take part. As media, for example, your field plays critical role, promoting books, how reading books changes people, how books is everything. Some people may tell you that I don't like reading. It's some insensitive thing to say. How can you live? You should read. If you are religious, you should read religious books. If you are into entertaining worlds, you should read something that entertains you. It doesn't mean like you have to carry newspaper. But in your phone, in your laptops, there must be something you read. Unless, how can you keep up with the world? How can you watch what is past? You can go back and learn from the books. You can go forward. That's what reading for me is, and that's what the young generation is, I think, fighting their way out, And we have to support them in all directions. We have to provide a platform where they can read. We should promote books. We should promote authors. That's what is expected from us, and we are playing our part, even though it's not something big.
But let me take you to one of the final questions I have for you. And finally, I just want to take you to Addis development recently, and how is the recent development in Addis Ababa supported by books? Since you are into books, and how do you think it should be supported as well in the future time?
Interesting. You remind me some big things that's happening now in the city. We have different connections to different offices of Addis Ababa. Currently, very beautiful gardening is being done in the city. We have different recreational areas. We have set up some 3 reading areas in the city so far. In the children's cinema, you remember, it was inaugurated 2 months ago. We have 1 library there. We have another library in Maso 1 project on the 5th floor. We have set up beautiful library. We have in Arat Kilo Palace 2 reading rooms. We are branching out. Now we are going to set up some in Science and Museum, in Andernet Park, in Ntoto Park. I am communicating with the responsible persons. So to that end, in a couple of months, you will see different reading corners in Addis Ababa. Now the infrastructure is quite amazing for people to read. You can read inside parks. Just if you just across the hall, across the road, there is beautiful park. You can see that. If there is reading corner, if we pack some books, people can sit for hours and read. The children can play around, and when they take breaks, they can read. That's what we are currently working. So at this development, the development we are witnessing for the last 2 or 3 years has dramatically changed the setup of the city. Along with that, the psychology, the perception of the people is changing. Now you can see a space by itself is beautiful. You can see wide places, you can see green places, you can see different locations where you can sit and read for hours. And that's a hopeful thing. With that, I think the reading culture will be reincarnated.
The Director General Muluken Tariku, it's a wonderful time, seriously, to talk with you. I felt like I was reading some of the books.
Oh.
It's quite entertaining. I hope everybody enjoys this kind of reading, and it really says a lot, by the way.
So thank you for having me, Brahan. It's very nice of you to come and visit us. Your channel, your station, always come and check the progress. You're very supportive. I truly appreciate that.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Hopefully I will have you some other time.
Certainly.
Muluken Tariku, the General Director of Abrehot Library, stayed with us. It's really wonderful to stay with him. Hopefully you enjoyed his interview and staying with us. And that's all we have for today. With me, Brian Todderson, and I'll have you some other time. You take care.